proudest day, and the proudest time in the seat of a rally car, because that day and that hour and those minutes, I got the bit between my teeth. You know, I really stood up and was counted and said, this is not getting away. I remember when we pulled on our helmets and Donald says to me, what are we doing? I said, we're going for gold, Barrett. That's all was said. I can still picture that run. That was just the best run ever.
Welcome to Krunching Gears, the Rally Podcast, Season 3, Episode 46. We're on the road this week, but I'm not going to stop us talking rallying. And another busy week. The finale of the BRC was last weekend, so we look back at it. You spoke to William Creighton, and then the Rally 4 competitors. I get a chance to catch up with some of those. Our new junior British champion, Robert Proudlock, new Stellantis Cup champion, Lloyd, and then Craig Rahill put in a starring performance last weekend. And then Ryan McHugh, who has been like a star of the BRC this year, and Aoife Raftery, star of the ERC, the BRC, and wherever she goes. And then also John and Ruthann Warren tell us about what's the difference between an R5 Fiesta and a Rally2 car. And then they're also out and back in the twin cam this weekend in the Kerry Mini Stages. And then finally, we speak to Sean Moriarty, and he gives us his thoughts kind of behind the Kerry Mini Stages coming up this weekend. But, your heart has to go out to William Liam last weekend. A spin, the difference between winning the BRC and coming second, it's such fine margins.
Absolutely. Look, we knew going into that event there was a possibility of several people could take the championship, but really it was going to be between William and Chris Ingram. And what do you call it? It couldn't have been any closer. Like, everything was perfect. Conditions were perfect. Weather was perfect. The stages were perfect. And they were trading bits of seconds here and there, and matching times on stages as well. It was just nuts.
Yeah, it was absolutely fascinating to watch. And, it was just, you were just on the edge of the seat who was going to blink first. And unfortunately, it was a spin in the penultimate stage was the deciding factor between the two of them.
Yeah, and the unfortunate thing was, on that stage coming up to the spin, William was matching Chris on split times. And They were just meters from the finishing board when he spun. And it was just, bit of a slight distraction. There was a historic car was off in the hedge. There was a marshal just flagging him down to point it out, and just a split second, Will, just lost focus for a split second, and boom, that was it. This simple, and I'm sure people have seen the video that's out there. There was somebody right on that corner, captured it perfectly, and it was a nothing of a spin. There was no damage, there was no anything. The car wasn't beached or grounded or anything.
No.
They were good to go. It was just unfortunate.
Yeah, and that's how precise rallying has got now. Even a spin like that just makes such a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. That's all it took. And it was, who was going to blink first, as you mentioned earlier. And just unfortunately, it was William. In the last event in the Cardigan, it was Chris. So, it can go either way.
Yeah, but, it shows where, Wall and Liam has come from. Yes, last year they were the JWRC champions, but they had never really set foot in a Rally2 car until, earlier this year. And to come within a whisker won the BRC, I think it just bodes well. So, I have such great high hopes for them now for the next few years.
Listen, it's been fantastic for them. They showed fantastic results. The BRC wasn't even meant to be a full program. It was just about getting a bit of extra seat time between their WRC2 campaign. And look what they've done in both venues. Their first time campaigning in the Rally2 car. It really has. They've stepped up to the mark.
That's for sure. And then in the Rally 4 category as well too. Craig Rahill went over there, wanted to show his pace, wanted to show what he was made of, and he stamped his authority on it right from the get-go, right from the very first stage. He was on it.
Yeah, look, for a guy that has not a huge amount of gravel experience under his belt, he really did have an outstanding run, you'd have to say.
That's for sure. And then Ryan McHugh took another, he took maximum points in the BRC, but unfortunately it just wasn't quite enough. Robert Proudlock took the championship. Great to see him doing so well, because he's had a lot of ups and downs this year, but to finally come through and take the championship speaks volumes there, and they you know, that's like, it really is a family run team. We spoke to his father in Donegal this year, and like, it means so much to that whole family.
Oh, it does. Like, and a lovely family, and you're right. We sat and we spent a good bit of what do you call it, the Thursday, chatting to the father and to Robert, and the brother was there as well, and like a lovely, lovely family, and they really are into their rally, and like they are, seriously committed and
Hmm.
very seriously committed to Robert's campaign this year.
That's for sure. And then Ioan Lloyd taking the Stellantis Cup, and like what a season he's going to have next year, going over and competing in the ERC with the blessing of racing rally, and all that entails there as well. And then Aoife Raftery. What can we say about Aoife? Fantastic performance there at the weekend, showing the guys how it's done.
Listen, she put it up to them. She
That's for
absolutely did. We can really see the experience that she's been getting on the ERC rounds this year, coming now to the fore. And, fantastic run, lovely clean run she had as well in the event too.
Mhm.
And, a solid result.
That's for sure. And then we're not even Keelan Grogan and Joe Kelly. All like, unfortunately, Keelan like some kind of mechanic that he was right in the mix for that then too. And Joe Kelly was having a great run, but then he came over a jump and it just felt the back end just wasn't quite right after that and sort of backed off a wee bit. But a very strong performance there as well.
Yeah, listen, the Rally 4 guys, they really have done us proud this year, and it's been such a fantastic competitive class, and you can only hope that continues to build as more people come into it.
That's for sure. That's for sure. But anyway, no more from us. Let's hear first of all from Wool, and then that will roll in then to the Rally 4 competitors. That is Robert, Ioan, Craig, Ryan, and Aoife.
William, tough weekend in the Cambrian forests.
Yeah, it was a nice rally, and so much that the stages there are iconic, proper GB vibes. It's quite a new layout for me. I'd done some of the route before, but a couple of stages reversed from what I remember in GB when we did it quite a few years ago, and things like that. So yeah, I enjoyed it. Unfortunately, we just couldn't get the win and bring home the championship, but we brought the fight as close as we could, really. Only 5 seconds in it at lunchtime. So, I was happy that we were able to do that and really take it to Chris and Alex. But yeah, congrats to them. We just couldn't get the last little bit.
Look, this year really the focus has been on the WRC2 championship. The BRC wasn't your main championship. It was extra seat time really in the Fiesta. So, going into the final round, you're 1 point leading the BRC championship. Probably not a position you expected to be in at the beginning of the year, in fairness. And there wasn't even a full plan, I think, for you to do all of the rounds. So was there much pressure then get into the Cambrian round on you?
Like you said, it was seat time was the main goal, but then to build that seat time into a British Rally Championship, that's a big thing, particularly in my first year in Rally 2. So that championship means a lot to me, from winning the junior BRC and then also to M Sport. They always have a presence there. So it was an amazing opportunity, and I think I can't remember all the results, but I've got I think a second place trophy from nearly every rally in the PRC in my room here. So whenever the championship started quite strong, then it quickly changes from just a seat time strategy, you could say. And whenever you're in that position to try and win those events against your championship contenders, yeah, all that goes out the window, and all of a sudden the opportunity to try and fight for the British Championship was on the cards from quite early on, which is nice.
And like, from your own point of view, you're going from a 3-day WRC event to jumping into a 1 day, almost like a sprint event. Like, how do you get your head around that to kind of switch, one weekend to the next into that frame of mind?
I think having all the seat time from your pre-event test and then 300 kilometers of a WRC event to then go to a BRC event, you're well prepared. It means that you can get into the car on the first stage of the BRC and sort of pick up where you left at any WRC round, which is usually quite a high pace. So, that's a positive. Okay, the BRC events are a lot shorter. You don't really have any time between the recce finishing and the start of the rally. So it's a short weekend, but it's really intense. Trying to get all your work done after the recce to prepare for the start of the rally. in such a short time is difficult, particularly for Liam as well. He's trying to get the notes tidied, and I'm in the middle of trying to change all these notes watching the recce footage. But yeah, I've really enjoyed competing in the championship. The coverage with ITV has been a really good buzz about the championship, and I think this year is the best it's been for a number of years with the quality of drivers. So whenever I saw the lineup of some of the guys that were entering, I thought it was going to be difficult. So I never thought that we'd be going to the final round with a chance to win, and going to the final round and actually having a mathematical chance to win, but actually taking the fight to the winner in the end is two different things. So and we were able to do that. So that gives me good confidence.
And again, confidence as well from the car, like the Fiesta Rally 2 really has been a reliable car for you this year.
Yeah, 100%. And all the WRC rounds and the BRC events, it's the reliability has been really, really good. And we've put it through its paces. And anytime there's been an issue, it's quite often mine rather than the cars. So yeah, like you can look back at all the rallies with the what if scenarios, but that's motorsport. Yeah, it's just to bring the fight to the final round, and the way it all panned out, there was a lot of pressure, 5 seconds between us at lunchtime. The afternoon was make or break, and like I said, just it wasn't ours. It was we were beaten fair and square, just didn't have enough on the day.
Yeah, like weather conditions were in your favor. It was a good event. It was, what do you call it? Looked, from what I could see from video footage and photos, nice, lovely, clean stages, and that everything kind of was there. It's just, I suppose, it was Chris Ingram put up a hard fight, and it was just trying to. And I suppose the spin on the penultimate stage probably just sealed it for you that it just wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, like you said, the weather was nice. It was a beautiful morning on Saturday morning, heading out to the stages. A lot nicer than what we had on the recce on Friday. There was actually a lot of fog and a lot of rain, but the stages were still really, really slippery. It's quite a hard base. The stages all stayed in really good condition, but there was just like a layer of slime, of mud over the top of the road. And the first loop of the rally was long enough that we couldn't really warrant taking a soft tire to try and get some compound grip. So going for the slightly harder tire to manage the loop, but then also not have as much grip on the the mud is quite tricky. But yeah, the car was good, and we just fell a little bit short, but we definitely tried. And like you say, the afternoon we went out with only 5 seconds to try and make up, and I got caught out on the penultimate stage and sort of had a half spin and dropped quite a lot of time considering the time we were dealing with between first and second. So that was kind of it over. But I think up until that point on that stage, we were actually only matching Chris. So it wasn't, at least that's what I'm telling myself, to not beat myself up too much. But it didn't make maybe a huge difference. But yeah, we had nothing to lose. So it was flat out try and see if we can make up a little bit of time to put a bit of pressure on going into the final stage. And yeah, that a spin, and thankfully we got away with it and no damage, and we're able to pick up second, because we're also fighting for the team's points as well, which unfortunately we weren't able to bring home for M Sport. But not winning the drivers' championship, the next focus was then obviously trying to get the team's championship.
Yeah. And that moment we had the half spin, and it was a fairly clean spin. There was no damage done. It was just unfortunate. Mentally, do you have the experience now to kind of on the stage put that behind you and just get on with things, or does this where Liam comes into it? Is Liam kind of a bit of a settling hand, as well?
Thankfully, it was quite near the end of the stage, so we didn't have too far to go before it was over, and I think I made my feelings quite clear whenever we crossed the finish line and what I said to Liam. But because obviously I knew at the time whenever that had happened, it was any hopes of the championship were gone really, unless Chris had a major problem. So, but then on the other hand, we had nothing to lose. We had to go for it. But yeah, I suppose if I look back, the first time I did those stages was GB. I can't remember exactly what year. I'm not good with dates, but and Chris was doing the rally, and if I compare my times to the likes of him back then, I was nowhere. So that's not that long ago. So now to be fighting at the top of the British Championship with M Sport and Ford. We've come quite a long way in a short space of time.
And yeah, like, that short space of time, we can't forget, for the last couple of years, you campaigned the Rally 3. This was only your first year. And, we're only looking back to what, Sweden in February, not even a full year of the Rally 2 Fiesta. Like, steep learning curve.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I have to tell myself that. It's whenever you're in that position and you're so close to the championship, it's all that goes out the window. But yeah, no, for sure. And I've got a lot more to give, I feel, particularly in the World Championship. We've shown good pace at times, but it's all about trying to build that consistency. And that was something that I was working on towards the end of the season in the last round in Central Europe. So yeah, it's always about learning, particularly in the WRC, and experience stands to you. So, if we ever go back to any of those WRC rounds, hopefully we'll have pace notes and things like that, which will be a big help. So yeah, the amount of rallies I've done this year, it's been extremely busy doing both championships, which has been very special, and I've gained a lot of experience.
And from a point of view of pace and comparing the pace, like, we know how competitive WRC2 is. It's like mentally competitive. We look at some of the names of the people involved. They've been rallying for quite some time. Like, how does that compare then, to the BRC, where, you've Keith, you've Oisin, you've Marion, you've Chris there, again, some very fast pilots.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's always something that's hard to gauge, but I think, from my feeling in the car on Saturday, I don't think we've gone as hard on the gravel in the Rally 2 car before. That's what it feels like anyway. So I'm sure if you bring the top guys to the BRC, I don't think they'd be a million miles ahead of us. So yeah, it's doing both championships and having such top quality drivers in the BRC was also aiding. Then whenever we went to the WRC, it's always, if you have a challenge, of competitive drivers, it's always going to help you progress. So it was really good that there was such a strong field this year.
And look, come here. Obviously, there's disappointment there. You didn't clinch the title, but have you enjoyed the fight?
I have loved it. Yeah, I've really enjoyed all the BRC rounds. You could say there's a little less pressure. Okay, definitely not at the Cambrian. There's plenty of pressure there, but coming to a national championship, just a little less hype around it is always really nice. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Liam has also enjoyed it, and yeah, it's a gutting whenever you get so close. But it is what it is. We gotta take the positives from it and come back stronger. But just to be in that position is the biggest positive, I guess.
And like, it's been an intense year. You've gone, a lot of travel, going back and forward between WRC events and getting home for the BRC events and stuff. A lot more time you and Liam are spending together, like, obviously a very strong relationship. What, I think you've over 10 years together, but are you still kind of, learning more and bonding more with each other in that time as well?
We haven't fallen out yet. But yeah, no, look, we get on very well, and Liam's, very good at what he does, and I'd be lost without him. The amount of effort that he puts in to everything, behind the scenes that a lot of people don't see. There's so much prep you can do before these rallies from a driver's side and also the co-driver's side. So it takes a lot of commitment. So I'm very much appreciative of that, and it's not just this year; it's been over, as you say, several years. So yeah, it's. I think whenever we go into a restaurant now, he can order what I want and I can order what he wants by just looking at the menu, which is a bit of a weird relationship, I guess. But yeah, look, we've had a lot of fun, and yeah, you say a lot of traveling and all that, but it's what an amazing position to be in, and very grateful for that, for all the supporters, particularly the Motorsport and Rally Academy, that have helped put the campaign and the World Championship and the BRC together, and of course M Sport Poland for the prize from winning the Junior WRC last year, and then all my other sponsors that have been really good to me this year. So yeah, as you say, it's been busy. I'm glad for I said no more rallies now for the next few months, and just trying to plan on putting something together for next year.
Yeah, I can only imagine though, next few months aren't going to be quiet, and I'm sure from the experience you've gained this year alone, you'll be in demand with the Rally Academy to pass that knowledge on.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys coming through there now, and everybody's fighting for position in the academy, obviously. But yeah, I think I would actually rather go do a few more rallies than this part of the year. It's harder than going to the events. I just can't believe we're already here. It doesn't feel like that long ago that we were getting ready to head for Sweden at the start of the year. So, but yeah, it's working as fierce as we can now to try and make sure that we can put another year together and try and put what we've learned this year to good use and just keep trying to progress and learn.
Last weekend saw the finale of the BRC, and Robert Proudlock took the BRC, the junior BRC. Robert, it's been a tough year, but great to get the result at the end of it all.
Yeah, absolutely. There were some points in that year where we definitely thought we weren't even going to make the final round, never mind, come out on top in the championship. So that says it all, really. It's just been an incredible year. At the end of stage interview, I thanked a lot of boys, but there was a lot more that was missing. So they'll be listening to this and they know themselves. It's not just a two-man team, it's maybe even 10, 100 behind us. So yeah, it's all came together in the end of the year. You can't complain at that.
Yeah, because as you say, it's not just the two guys in the car. There's a huge team effort to make this all happen.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, rallying especially, it's a sport where everyone comes together, everyone helps, especially when you're fighting against Irish folks, Welsh, English. All these Scottish people that have came back to this year has been absolutely fantastic, and the support's been unreal.
Yeah, aye, and Ioan, you went into that. The last time we spoke, you said going to the Cambrian, it was all about keeping the head down, doing the sensible approach, do nothing silly. Mission accomplished for you on Saturday.
Yeah, definitely. I think that was definitely the plan before the rally. And yeah, sort of mission accomplished for sure. It was not easy. I think a tricky rally to do that. But yeah, of course, I think it was only natural when you put the helmet on, you tend to go a little bit optimistic and go, all right. But no, I think to be fair to the boys, they're on some pace. So we just decided after the first stage, we clipped a rock and thought I'd broken something for sure. It was completely didn't see it. It was on the line. And yeah, so just after that, sort of decided that it was very easy to throw away something so simple. So yeah, mid-show we sort of drove around and made sure we didn't make any mistakes.
And is that almost more difficult to do than being driving at the limit?
Oh, 100%, yeah. Yeah, no, 100%. Well, it's probably the first time I've had to do it, and I don't really want to do it again. It's far more enjoyable when you just have to go flat out. So
yeah. And Craig, you come over, you wanted to compete in another round of the BRC, you wanted to pit your speed against the other guys. Did you just approach that balls out right from the first stage, or what was your thoughts on it really?
Yeah, definitely there was no conservative approach with us anyway. Yeah, look, we just wanted to come over, and we knew the pace in the BRC all year was very hot, so just wanted to come over and see where our pace was at. And yeah, the stages were class, and just that first stage was just all about getting into a rhythm and just picking your lines with corner after corner. So just, yeah, we were surprised when we came to the end of the stage and we had such a good time, and just we kept that pace going throughout the day, and yeah, really happy with the result.
Yeah, because I spoke to Matt Cotton last week, and we talked about those stages are they're WRC stages. They are probably the pick of the stages in the UK, and are they as good, or were they as good as as their reputation?
Probably better. Yeah, just the buzz you get from having a real good push over them is just something else. Just it's all real fast and flowing, and just all about getting into the rhythm. And yeah, it's just some buzz.
Yeah, and Ryan, for you, this is you've only done a handful of events on gravel, but even to see the disappointment, and the times you were setting, we're still having you the main point scorer in the BRC, but you wanted to be racing Craig.
Yeah, look, I suppose we were trying to get max points in the BRC last weekend, and we accomplished that. But yeah, look, Craig was going hard last weekend, and yeah, we were after the first stage, just kind of a bit disappointed in myself. I'd say more than anything, my driving wasn't really up to much, but yeah, just struggling a bit with the car still in places but yeah, it'll come right. It'll be grand, yeah. But no, happy now with the rally. It was a tough rally, as Ioan said there, and yeah, it's very easy to make a mistake. So we couldn't afford another mistake, so we had to try and keep our noses clean as well.
And how do you feel you're coming on gravel? A lot learned, more to do.
Yeah, I'd say a good bit to do on the slippy gravel rally they got there, in terms of car setup. But no, look, happy enough to be honest. With the way it's coming on, like I've only done say 5 or 6 gravel rallies, so happy enough.
And Aoife, from your point of view too, you've been away doing the European Championship and you've done the Ulster there earlier in the year. Coming here and then to the Cambrian at the weekend and putting yourself up against the BRC, and we've seen how hot the pace has been there. Like, you can see the joy in yourself and Hannah's faces whenever you've seen the times you were mixing it just right with the guys right from the start.
Yeah, it's good. I think myself and Hannah were looking forward to coming to the Cambrian Rally and competing against the guys from Ireland and UK. We had a good year in the European Rally Championship, and I think we came on a lot as a team, and my driving came on a lot. So yeah, the same, I suppose. Just going over to see where our pace is at and seeing how we got on against the guys. So yeah, I think as the lads said, they're tricky stages, but they were really, really fun stages as well at the same time. So it was a good challenge, and I think it went. I enjoyed the gravel, so to come back and race the guys against them on the gravel, it was a good result for us, and we were happy with the pace.
Yeah, because the stages in Wales are not really comparable to anything you've done in the junior ERC. A completely different style of driving, or a completely different setup. Maybe that's where I'm going.
Yeah, it is. It's each country you go to, it's very different. Again, Wales was very different to what we'd been on, but I think after the first stage, we started putting in better stage times and just got more confidence in the car and in myself, and we were able to build on it. And I just get a better feeling on it. And Craig and had some really fantastic stage times, and Ryan as well. So it was good to be able to see where we were at against them.
Because do you feel the pace in the UK and Ireland is as good as anywhere?
Yeah, look, definitely. I think every rally you go to has its own challenges, and I think the ERC has a very high level of competition and drivers in it, and I think that then allows you to come on as a driver in yourself, that you can use that then to, no matter what event you go to, there's always something that you can learn and bring forward. And then the pace with the Rally 4s in Ireland and UK, obviously that's a hot pace, and there's different guys fighting for different championships, so there's a big push on. And then I think it's a fantastic class, and it was a challenging weekend.
Excellent. And Robert, from your point of view too, this has been a year of learning, a year of development, and the range of different events you've covered, and been allowed to do pace notes and on the forest and all that. This is all going to benefit the longer term plan.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's all about climbing the ladder in any sport you do, I suppose, and that's just what we've done the last couple of years. We went from smaller Scottish events and obviously climbed right up to the BRC. So it's the next step in the sport for us. That's the worry, because yourself, it's so expensive, and looking at figures, looking at events, it's just sometimes it can get pretty unmanageable without support. So it's a hard game.
Yeah, and do you feel you've developed as a driver this year, and as a team as well too, I suppose?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is our first year in Rally 4, first year in the Peugeot, so compared to the R2 car, it was a big step up, a big change. It was a totally different driving style. So compared to, I've been watching my own car from the start of the year to the end of the year, and the difference is phenomenal. I mean, it's all about confidence, and the more time you have spend in the car, the more time you're doing rallies, the more confident you're going to be. So it's the name of the game.
Yeah, and then whenever you're racing against these guys and girls here, this has to drive your pace on. If you want to be successful, you have to find all those wee secret ingredients to keep you, at the top of the timesheets.
Oh, 100%. I mean, you think back to Kerry and that was a bit of a wake-up call for us. The pace them boys were on the front was ridiculous. But like I said, it's just all about seat time, all about experience. The hours they're putting in testing's a testament to the results they're getting on rallies.
Yeah. And Ioan, from your point of view now, you won the Stellantis Cup at the weekend. this at the start of the year, did it seem achievable, or was it almost, I get a year's experience in this car, build myself up, and maybe look at this next year, or was it this was the goal from the get go?
I'd have to say it's probably the goal from the start. Being the first year, it was fresh for everybody, so it was kind of a level playing field. We'd had 2 years, I think, in a 208 Rally 4 at that stage, so we really needed to capitalise on that. And we had a good start in West Cork. Couldn't quite get Ryan, but and then Killarney, we had another real good run there. And then we kind of midway through the year when it was my own fault in the rally net, so it put us on the back foot a bit. And with only one drop score, it made it quite a tough championship to do. You had to score quite strongly across the whole year, which is quite difficult, especially when the level's high against the boys. So, the fire in Donegal really put us on the back foot, and it left us, I think, 3 or 4 rallies where we really had to score strongly, and it sort of put the pressure on a bit. And that's probably where I started doubting it a bit. It's yourself, you can try as hard as you can, put the prep in, but it can be down to luck sometimes as well. 100%. We've had a bit of luck in the second half of the season to manage the championship, but at the same time, probably as Robert said, there's a lot of people behind it, a lot of people supporting it. So yes, a massive thanks to the whole team and everybody that helps us do it, really.
Aye, because you may have a wee bit of bad luck, but over the whole year, the luck kind of balances itself out. It's the prep that puts in as well too.
Yeah, 100%. And everybody gets their share of bad luck through the season. Like Keelan had his bad luck in Cork 20. It's so simple. He had a blistering first stage, and then the second stage just a bit of running water and a downhill. Rolled, and that sort of changed the championship perspective again. 100%. Kyle and the boys, everybody's had their share of bad luck. I think to score 8 rallies strongly is a big task. So 100% is just about, when you do have a bit of luck, maximising your result.
Yeah, and the package that Raymond Moore has put together that you're going to avail of next year, it's life changing for a young guy like you coming up through the sport.
Yeah, it's incredible. I think, for anybody to think back how long ago it was when there was something like this on offer in the UK or Ireland, it's probably, you have to look back at the Peugeot Challenge when Richard Burns and the likes of those boys are doing it. There's nothing been available for youngsters to sort of get on the ladder, because it's so expensive to go forward in the sport. I think it's massive what Raymond and the team have put on this year as an incentive. So it's a big help to get on the ladder up to the next step.
For sure. And Craig, from your point of view, you must be one of the busiest men rallying this year, because the amount of events you've done between the National Championship, the Tarmac Championship, gravel events. Are you ever at home?
Yeah, I think that was rally number 16 this year. So it's been a very, very busy year. And when we started off this year, we just kind of wanted to familiarise ourselves with the Rally 4, because we only done, I think, 4 rallies in it last year. So yeah, there was a lot of kind of fine-tuning the car and trying to get it set up right at the start of the year. And then when we finally got it working right, then we were able to build on our pace and try and find a good steady pace. And delighted the way the season's panned out now. So focus now is just fully on the Billy Coleman Award interviews now in the next coming weeks.
Yeah, and I suppose swap between gravel and tar, does that bring its own, does you have to retrain your brain again as well?
It's it does be hard to adjust at times. It was there in Donegal, I just got we were after doing 3 gravel rallies in a row, and the first 2 corners we came into on tarmac, I just fired the yoke in sideways on tarmac, and I just kind of forgot it was on tarmac. But yeah, you just it's good being able to switch over and back. And I'd say probably before the gravel there's a different buzz to it, but yeah, there's tarmac has this buzz as well.
Yeah, and that's coming from a guy that at the start it was really tarmac rally, and that's what you were that was where your heart lay.
Yeah, we done the tarmac championship or in the national championship 2 years in the S-course, and then we decided to get the Rally 4 and straight into gravel the first time in it, and kind of fell in love with the gravel, and it just kind of took over the tire completely. It's a lot better, but yeah, it's good.
Yeah. And Ryan, from your point of view, like, you had the tarmac championship wrapped up by Donegal in June, and you'd already dabbled on the gravel, and like you've only what 4 or 5 gravel events done. Is there a preference still? Are you still leaning to more the tarmac, or are you getting a buzz out the gravel already?
No, I'd say I'd be the same as Craig now. Getting to prefer the gravel. There's more of a buzz when you're going sideways at fifth gear. It's no, it's good now, but yeah, like it's hard to, as Ioan was saying, it's hard to get 8 rallies in a row, trying to get them all right. Like we had I'd say a perfect nearly start of the year to Donegal, and then kind of had bad luck in the Grampian and bad luck again in Lakelands with dust and put the car off, and yeah, it just hasn't been the perfect end of the year. But no, I definitely feel like I didn't even intend on doing the British Championship. I missed the first 2 rounds, and I had a DNF in the Grampian, so like to finish second was good in a way, like, but yeah, it was kind of out of our control. I knew Robert wasn't gonna push too hard in the Cambrian; he didn't have to. So, but no, look, it was a great drive all year from him. He deserved it. So, 2 boys in that championship that Raymond put together for Ioan, that's a massive opportunity he has now going there next year, and yeah, let's see. Hopefully, we can be going out alongside them.
And like it has to be the dream is to keep progressing in the sport, because this is where you get your buzz. This is your time to shine.
Well, we'll see. We'll see now over the next couple of weeks. Get ready for the Billy Coleman interview, the same as Craig there, and see what comes out of it. And yeah, that'll kind of tell the tale of where we're going next year or what we're going in. But yeah, look, we'll definitely go somewhere next year in something. But yeah, we'll just play it by ear for the next couple of weeks.
For sure. And Aoife, like you have a year's experience in below you on the European, and like the variety of events that the variety of terrain. That's something you'd recommend to anybody else that would be even thinking about it.
Yeah, of course. I think the championship is a really good championship, and you've got the best drivers there, all competing together. So it's it's a big kind of step to make, but I think that the style of different events and the different roads really brings you on and helps you kind of progress as well quite quickly as a driver. There's a lot to take on and a lot to learn quite quickly. So yeah, the ERC has definitely been a really good championship for myself anyways this year, and we've seen some fantastic rounds and fantastic rallies, so it's been a good year there.
Yeah, and like for you, like is it like is this where your heart lies? Is this where you going and getting that challenge of going to a new country, seeing new stages, and trying to get those perfect notes that you can drive to, then going down the stages?
Yeah, of course. I think every time you go to a new country, you're kind of starting nearly at the start again in a way, because you have to learn their style of roads and the road conditions there. But yeah, as you progress and you go to more and more events in different countries, it definitely allows you to kind of make your pace notes a lot easier, and give you that better understanding quite like a lot earlier too. And then you can, some countries or some stages, you can take the experience from that and bring it to somewhere else that might be quite a bit similar as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like Robert, these guys, they're looking to the future. They're looking to see where the longer term goal is. Like you said at the end that you spoke about your mother, and your father is probably one of your biggest supporters. You also have to remember where you come from before you can go too far ahead either as well.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, you've always got to remember your roots and think about who got you to where you are. So yeah, you've always got to be appreciative no matter where you are. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my dad's done so much for me. Obviously, he's the one that got me into rallying. If you look on the wall behind me, there's too many photos of him in his heyday doing the SRC. So to be honest, I keep saying to him, you need to get yourself out and compete in a car that you love. You've got some free time, so why not? But his answer is always that he enjoys putting me through it and watching me kind of climb the ladder and and compete. So I'm a very lucky boy.
Yeah, because he is your biggest fan.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I mean, I'm sure on Saturday there when he was in service, he was probably very low blood pressure. You know, he was panicking the whole day. I had a few messages saying he looked like a headless chicken. So,
but Ioan, like the ERC, you've watched what's happened this year. You've seen where those guys are. Can you not just wait now to be out there now and get involved and get in the midst of it all?
I can't wait on one hand, but I can on the other hand. I need as much time as I can to work and put the prep in, because these guys put so much work into it. And it's a very, very high level, as Aoife said earlier. So I think, of course, I can't wait on one hand to get to the first round, but on the other hand, I just need to use my time wisely and try and learn a lot from. I'm very lucky to have a lot of good people around me, so try and learn as much as I can in these months leading up to it, and we'll see.
Because the pace you have, the talent you have, you are capable of going and racing anybody, regardless of there always is going to be, no matter what events, there's also always going to be a few local experts. But you think over the whole course of the year, it should all balance itself out as well.
Maybe, but I should have been a local expert at Kerrigan, and I completely wasn't. So, I think these guys can go anywhere in the world and be absolute world class. So to compete with them, it obviously has to be a lot of work put in. The talent level of these guys are all absolutely brilliant. So it's just about, I suppose, how bad you want it.
Yeah.
So there's obviously a lot of work to be done. For sure, it's a big step. So, but no, I'm relishing it. I can't wait.
Yeah, because that's what you want. You want the competition. You want the challenge.
Yeah, 100%. I think we all want that as competitors. That's why we go rallying. It's some of the battles this year, especially with Ryan on the Irish tarmac, and it's just class. That's why you do it. It's swapping tenths and seconds, and especially when you have 3, 4, 5 of you in a battle, it's class. It's why we do it. So 100%. I hope it'll be the same story next year.
Yeah, because Craig, we've seen that all year. Like, no matter on gravel, on tar, national championship, forestry, the tarmac championship, everywhere you go, just guys, it's like you're pulling lumps of each other on the stages for a tenth of a second, and then you can have the great crack in the banter between stages.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's the pace in the Rally 4 class is always so, like, nothing between us coming. Like, Limerick was a good example there. I think there was stage 7 or something. There was a 10-kilometer stage, and there was like 5 seconds between the top 6 of us at that stage. Like, it's just always nothing between us, and it's great battling. It brings you forward, because you're always trying to find where can you get that extra wee bit to get on top. So them battles are always, you need them to progress.
Yeah, and Ryan, Ioan alluded to it there as well too. The banter as well too, as well as the pushing each other on. It's the wee bit of downtime between the stages as well. That's needed as well.
You need that. It's a sport at the end of the day. You want to win, but you need to be having the crack as well. And the crack is good between the stages. But when the helmet goes on, it's different. It's good. It's good. It's very good.
Yeah, and Aoife, for you, coming back and getting stuck in with these guys, you need a thick skin, but you need to give as good as you get, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. No, I really enjoyed the weekend and the pace that it was there, and it's great fun to be able to kind of chat with the guys in between the stages, and then, as I said, once the helmet goes on, it's came on then. But no, it's great to be back and compete against them, and having the crack as well along the way. It's part of it, and you have to enjoy it as well.
For sure.
All the hard work that goes in.
Yeah, because you can see it yourself and Hannah, from never the time for coming in, if you just were here and where you were at in relation to everybody around you, the wee laughs and giggles between you and the fist bumps and all that there too. It means a lot.
Yeah, it does, and I think it's nice as well that myself and Anna get on so well in the car, because it really makes the weekend a lot more enjoyable, and having that trust in each other then as well is really important as well, to be able to have good results and to be able to trust in each other in the car.
Yeah, because like you spend so much time together. This is something you can't force. It's either a natural relationship, a friendship, or it just doesn't work.
Yeah, 100%. And then as well, knowing that, how much work we're putting in preparation before events, and then especially the working with the Motorsport Ireland Rally Academy, it's the package, and as the guys are saying, is everyone behind us that kind of helps us and allows us to get these opportunities and to get to do what we love. And yeah, it's really fantastic to have such a good team behind us to be able to support us like that.
And because the academy, they have the what to eat, what to drink, all those things are you don't even have to think about them. They just become natural now at this stage.
Yeah, especially exactly after so much time, and just practice, and they become habits then, and you just know what you have to do in preparation for events and during the events after. After so many, you get the experience of it, and it's really good that it just comes natural then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Robert, in your dad's day, fitness wasn't a huge thing. Yes, you had to be sort of reasonably fit, but the level of everything now has just ramped up so much now as over the last few years.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, everyone's giving it 100%, and if you're not putting in the hours in the gym and looking after yourself and watching what you're eating on rally day, then you're probably putting yourself at a disadvantage to anyone that is. So if you really want to take it serious and you really want to be at the top, everything has to be 100%, on your best game. And like Aoife was talking about Motorsport Ireland supporting them, we've got Motorsport UK here, and just giving them a quick shout out. They've given me some brilliant advice over the year, and the help and the just everything. It's all part of the game, and it's all helped us get where we are at the end of the year here.
Mm-hmm. Because they're out looking out for your good. They're not throwing information at you that it's no practical use to you. They're giving you stuff, and it's up to you to soak that in like a sponge.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, most of these guys that are telling you, they're there for a reason. They've done it themselves. They've kind of been to the top, and they know what to do to achieve it. So you've got to listen when they're talking.
Mm-hmm, for sure. And Ioan, you've been competing here in Ireland. You're hanging about with Ryan and these guys, and you're seeing the information they're picking up, the tips they're getting. Are you keeping a wee watching brief there and putting a lot of this into practice as well?
Yeah, of course. I try and keep my ear out all the time and pick all the tips up. And but yeah, I think the support is phenomenal, especially with Motorsport Ireland. I think it's a credit to the amount of opportunities, and of course the guys are working hard as well. But I think it's a great team behind them. So no, 100%. I think it's the same wherever you go. You can pick up a lot of good information from people who have been there and done that, like Robert said. So yeah, I think it's a big learning curve, of course.
For sure. And Craig, you seen there at the weekend, Wall come up within a whisker of winning the BRC, and it shows what the MI Academy can help you achieve. Is this, you're watching all this and thinking, there's a pathway there?
Definitely, yeah. You can see that the work the academy does is great, and just without them, you can see, you can go right from the bottom and right up to the top. There's a pathway there, and they show you the way to get there and what has to be done. And yeah, they're partially the whole reason why the pace in Rally 4 in Ireland is at such a high level, because they're just keep bringing it up.
Yeah, because Ryan, if a few years ago, Rally 4, there was maybe 2-3 competitors, and most events now there's maybe between 6 and 10, maybe 12, and that's has to be a lot of that down to the MI Academy, and bringing young guys like yourself in and showing you that you need to be in a homologated car. This is the way to go.
Yeah, definitely. The path there to be led, and yeah, you need to be trying to follow it to get onto their path. And yeah, as Craig's saying there, looking at William and John and Josh, and if you're willing to put in the work, that they'll take you all the way. And I wouldn't even have done the BRC this year at all, only for them. They pushed me to go over and give me support to do it. So yeah, look, I was a bit disappointed that we couldn't get over the line with it, but yeah, with the amount of rounds we had done, finished second, I think it was a good achievement. But yeah, definitely need to be trying to get the push on now and try and kick on over the next couple of years.
Yeah, because Aoife, you are the prime example of what the Motorsport Ireland Rally Academy can do. You've become an ambassador for not just women, but just motorsport in general, you can show that this isn't possible. You were a few weeks ago out there representing Ireland on the world stage. There's so many opportunities there now.
Yeah, definitely. Being part of the Motorsport Ireland Rally Academy kind of gives you the opportunity to go to more events and meet new people, and that's what it's all about, is getting your name out there and trying to keep showing up and keep improving. And they're always looking at the small percentages, so it's just working on those all the time with the academy and trying to make them better and better. And I think the guys in the academy and in the Rally 4 class, and the top guys as well in ERC and WRC, the amount of work that's been put in is really strong, and you can see that in people's pace and their improvement in the driving and results for sure.
Yeah, because now Rally 4, Rally 2, all those cars are all just so similar. They're over a stage. There's nothing between them. Any small advantage or any small percentage that you can find, whether that's in your fitness or your nutrition, all those things make a difference at the end of a weekend's rally.
Yeah, definitely, especially when it's if you're away at an ERC event and it's 3 days rally, and the likes of your fitness comes into it massively. Something that plays a big part in the rallying and your performance, and it's all these elements of rallying that also has to be worked on that you definitely can't skip over.
For sure. And then, I suppose the final question, I'll go around you all with it, and I'll maybe start with you, Robert. Highlight of the year, what's the one thing that when you look back on 2024 will be, that was pretty special?
Listen, the only answer for me is that final round last weekend. It has to be. It's just brought the whole year together. It's summed up the whole year perfectly, Looking back at that, there were some great memories made that we'll never forget. So hopefully we can do better in the future and one up the bar set now. So we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, and Ioan, the same question to yourself?
Yeah, it's difficult to pick one rally, but I'd probably pick Killarney. I'd say Rally of the Lakes. It was probably a highlight. Just the race is so close all weekend, and as you say, the crack in between the stages is mighty. So yeah, I'd probably say that was the highlight.
Very good. Craig, for yourself, what's been your highlight of the year so far?
Yeah, I'd probably be the same as Robert. I'd have to pick last weekend there in Cambrian, just to kind of, after all our hard work all year, just to see where our pace is at now at the end of the year. It's a good feeling, and yeah, I was delighted with the weekend and great.
Yeah, for your final rally of the year, it sets you up well now for 2025?
Yeah, exactly, and hopefully let's see where it brings us. We don't know yet.
Excellent. And Ryan, same question to yourself. What's the one thing that you look back in 2024 and say that was pretty epic?
Probably can't look past Donegal. Declan won in the modified and us won in Rally 4 and David Kelly third. Was some event for Neil and some event for us.
I think for a Donegal man and for a rally that means so much to you and your family, that was as good as it gets.
Yeah, definitely. It was a good party after dinner.
And Aoife, what a fantastic year you've had. You've travelled Europe. You've competed in so many different events. What's been the one stand out for you this year?
Yeah, each event is fantastic, and there's something special about them all that you really enjoy and you love. But for me, I think the Sweden stages this year were just another level, and loved every minute of it. Just so enjoyable to drive on those stages, and the fun was just, I think that would probably be the highlight of the year.
Kevin, really is great having the young talent on, and bright futures ahead, and lovely to hear what they consider to be their highlights for the year as well. Kevin, I have a question for you. Have you ever wondered what the difference is between driving an R5 and a Rally 2?
Oh yes, many a time. It keeps me awake at night trying to figure it out. Yeah. But I thought the perfect people to answer that question, John and Ruthann, Warren, they started out the year in their twin cam, moved into the R5 Fiesta from Ioan Sport, and then transitioned into the Rally 2 car for the recent Harvest Rally. And I thought, speak to them, get their thoughts on it, and just what is the difference? Where is the improvements or whatever? So they answered those questions really, really well. And to top that off, they were also last week a guest of William Creighton's in M Sport, and they got a tour around there and the whole ins and outs of that. I think it's a fantastic story. So let's hear from them.
So Ruthann and John, the last time we spoke was back in April after Burr. 3 more rallies in R5 Fiesta. And how did you settle into it? Was it getting better and better with each run, Joe?
Yeah, well, thanks for having us back, Kevin. As was, yeah. Look, it kind of blew our minds a little bit in Burr. We just weren't really prepared for the cornering speed of this thing. We had a little bit of a test done, but it's not till you actually get out on the stage and have a proper crack at it that you get a right feel for it. And so yeah, look, we were probably ramping up a little bit every day. We were definitely starting to get the feel for it and starting to throw it around a little bit more in the corners, and get a few slides going and just trying to kind of figure out the capabilities of it. But to be honest, you still know every time you watch back at the in-car, you know there's more there. Or even while you're driving it, you know there's loads more in it. But I suppose at the end of the day, it's a rental too. You have to be a little bit. You wouldn't be just pushing to the same level as we would be in the twin cam. Say you're just being a little observed. But no, for sure, like it blew my mind, that car. The plan was only do maybe a couple of events in it just to kind of scratch the itch. But once we got a taste for it, I'm hooked on it. It's just so much fun to drive it. And I know some of these R5 cars mightn't really be a fan favourite. They're more the fans like the modified and the twin cam and the Mark II and everything. But from a driver's point of view, those cars are so much fun to drive. They're just the corner. Like, it's definitely not the power by any means, but it's just the braking and the corner and the speed that you can carry. It's just phenomenal. And I don't know. I don't think you'd ever get fed up with that. So.
No. Because I spoke to Kevin Eves and Declan Gallagher there a couple of weeks ago now, and that's even they were saying too. It's just the way they just. But the thing that they took a lot of getting used to was actually the width of the car as much as anything else too. It's so much wider as well.
Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah, it's a good 6 inches either side, I suppose. Actually, yeah, the very first stage we did in Burr, it nearly the cat caught us out a little bit, but just coming into it, just kind of a fast left-hander and just kept over a little bit too far. You just put a wheel on the gravel and then dab the brakes, and she starts to get a little bit squirmy. So you figure out the limits of that very quick.
You love that, though.
And the chicanes as well, actually.
Yes. Yeah.
So.
I was trying to figure out where everything's at because the dashboard's so much deeper, you can't see the end of the bonnet. All those wee things that just.
Yeah, that's a very good point, actually. Trying to figure out where that front corner is quite hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
You're sitting so far back. So it takes a while. Like even coming into service there, and you begin to maneuver it into the service area, and you think you were pretty close to something, and next thing some guy holds up his hand and says you're 2 foot away from it. Look, it just takes time. Same thing with the twin cam. Look, we had a lot of rallies done in the twin cam before we really had it sussed and figured out and found the limits of it, and that. So it's just seat time. You'd love to just get a lot more seat time in your 5 car, just to really start extracting the limits out of it.
Yeah, and like Ruthann, from the passenger seat, you can take it there from John. There's like so many smiles, there's so many developments, and so many places you can feel that he can improve. Do you feel the same in the passenger seat as well?
Oh, absolutely. Things come at you an awful lot quicker as the navigator. That's kind of, I suppose, the first few stages we did in Burr. I was just whoa. Like, he was talking to me at the end of the stages. I was just, don't talk to me now. I couldn't it just blew my mind because I wasn't looking up at all either. I find that in the R5 or the Rally 2, you're not looking out at all anymore. It's just, you're feeling the corners. And I could always do that in the twin cam. I always knew the feel of corners, but I found I had to relearn how a corner feels in the R5. Yes. He's taken some of these, what it nearly feels in the car like you're going around a square, but we'd be 6 fastest, and it's actually like a 3 right or a 3 left or something. He's taken these medium speed corners so fast that it's just the way the car leans, and yet it's still glued to the road. And it's for a navigator, it's kind of, you're having to relearn that, okay, that was that corner there, and you're making sure that you're in the right place in the notes at all time. It's your brain is working harder to process it.
Not to mention that you're actually sitting far lower and you can't actually see out.
Yeah.
You're just looking at the dash, so you can't see.
Yeah, I couldn't see at all.
Yes.
If you see the pictures, you'll just see the top of my helmet in some of the photos. There's a few of them, but I could see when we go downhill.
Yes. Because you were looking down the road, yes.
It kind of raised me up. But yeah, you're sitting very, very low in them, and I'm also sitting, I suppose, quite far back. So it's just getting used to all of that. But I'd say by probably the second event, which was Munster in the R5, we both, I think, had our confidence in the car by then and began to kind of it was more relaxed. And then, you just get more used to it. And even we could see in the Rally 2, probably by halfway into the day, you're settling into it, because it was kind of like starting again in the Rally 2, that you're back, your mind is blown at the first couple of stages, and then you kind of begin to get used to it. But it would take quite a few events to really settle into it and to get the ultimate out of it.
Yeah, because John, that I can't get my head around. Like the R5 Fiesta was, it was, well, I suppose it's probably 10, 12-year-old technology now, but the Rally 2 car was built to more or less the same technical regulations. But is it a massive step up to it?
It is, yeah. Look, don't get me wrong, the R5 car is still phenomenal. Coming from where we were to the R5 car, it was serious, but it just is another decent step up again. And it's probably, I suppose, more power. Straight away, you notice the power. It's got a lot more grunt, a lot more torque down low. Straight away, like the first time you accelerate, you can feel that. But secondly, I suppose, just the handling, I suppose, it feels very different. It actually feels a lot lighter in the steering. You actually feel like you don't have as much of a feel of the road in the steering, actually. But that doesn't really worry me. But it just feels much more nimble. It feels like it'll just carry even more speed around those medium corners. Probably the third thing then was that the suspension setup. Definitely would say down the middle over a lot of choppy stuff or bumps, so that it definitely would be a lot more settled than the R5 car. Braking wise, maybe a small difference, but wouldn't see a huge difference there. But yeah, probably that's a bit of everything. But it's very hard to know. I suppose we only did one event in the R5 car, and it was wet, and that was our first time really doing a wet rally in a drive car. So we'd really want to get a spin out on a dry tar, good dry grippy tar now to give a proper feel, a proper feel between the two. Yeah, but we did Cork in the R5.
But I suppose then with the because the regulations is so tight, there is no massive step forward. There is no golden egg. It is just improving every little thing. Every the braking's just that wee fraction better. The handling's just everyone's just it's maybe only 1-2%, but it's all those 1 or 2% over the whole package makes a huge difference.
There you go. Like I do. When I'm talking to the guys at work and I'm trying to explain the difference to them, I compare it to like a Fusion 3 to a Fusion 4, just to get the plug in there. Fundamentally, it's the same thing. Same machine does the same job, but it's just all these little improvements, the macros faster and all these little bits, and it all adds up to just being a much nicer, much more impressive package overall. So yeah, but look, hopefully we'll see. I'm not sure what the plan is yet, but I'd like to give another day out in a couple of days out in the two anyway.
And Ruthann, even too, again, another stupid question. Even from the passenger seat, is it different?
Oh, completely, yeah. To me, it was as different as, we'll say, going from the twin cam to the R5. It felt like a completely different thing again. I was really surprised. Even the second we set in, we got a small test on the Friday before Donegal. And we went up and down the road a few times, and it really wowed us. It felt way more powerful. And I'd say, to me, it felt a bit more, a little bit more like it was rear wheel drive, the way it kind of was stepping out a little bit more in the back. And we did a little bit of messing at suspension and that to see, and kind of, it's still, I think it would feel a little bit giddier maybe in the back, but that's not necessarily a bad thing.
I think it's just a bit more grunt. It's coming out of the junctions and you're putting the power down. She's just a little bit more inclined to swing the tail out. So,
the power felt.
I don't complain about that.
No. Completely. But yeah, it felt a lot more powerful. It pushes you into the seat more. You can feel that as a navigator where you're not looking up. It's just kind of and again, definitely going through the medium corners, there's more in it again. Yeah.
Because it does seem to be these cars are not about the out and out grunt. It is the way they can take the corners, the brake, and it's not while we look how fast we can go. It's how fast we can cover a stage.
It's carrying the speed, exactly, and it's a huge learning curve just to try and stay off the brakes, to get used to these things, to how much speed you can carry, and just not press the brakes. That was my problem initially. I was trained, I was whatever 50 something rallies done in the twin cam, and you knew where your braking points were, and you were just to retrain the brain now to just keep going a bit deeper, just stay off the brakes. It's not easy done. But.
Yeah, and then you have the likes of Niall and those guys there too, who we said this before, how short a time they've been doing, the team, but the amount of experience they bring to that team as well.
Oh, phenomenal! I'm blown away, to be honest, with just how professional those guys are, and the whole lot of them. He's such a crew of good guys with him, and they really know their stuff. They're so tuned into these cars and what to do. You do a little bit of a test, you give them a bit of feedback about what the car is doing, and straight away they're on the button. They know what to do, and they dial something in a couple of clicks, and they're really, really in tune with these cars. So yeah, hats off to them.
Yeah, it really builds your confidence as well, because they know what you're talking about when you come back in. You say, "Oh, it felt a bit giddy there on that corner," and it's straight away Niall's on it. There's no.
It's just great fun. Again, back to the twin cam, we're years just tweaking with us and trying different things with suspension setups and camber and caster and suspension clicks and everything, and you're just experimenting, and you can more often than not go backwards rather than forwards, and you just have to try these things. But at least when you've got those guys behind you, they know, they have a lot of experience there, and they can. Every time you make a change, you're usually going the right direction. It's going forward. So
yeah, and it's having that confidence to be able to say to them without actually feeling stupid that that's doing this or it's doing that. That they understand what you're talking about.
Absolutely, yeah. And in fairness to Niall, he's not afraid to push you on as well. He just say it to you, push him on. I try to mind someone else's car. I'm always conscious in the back of my mind, it's not my car. I don't want to damage this thing.
I keeping him, caution now, because I'm thinking, don't hit this thing. It's mind it, and Niall has no fear there. So don't worry about that. Push it on. And
yes,
well, it's good. It's good to have that. You put your mind at ease a little bit.
For sure. And then I suppose it's just over. It's almost 2 weeks ago. You got the opportunity to go back to the Fiestas birthplace. A trip over to M Sport. The guest of William Creighton. You won he had an online prize for his fans, and that must have been something else that day.
I didn't even know that she had entered the competition. She just turned around to me. Was it Friday, Thursday or Friday, and just says, "Here, we need to book a ticket. We're going to M Sport." Okay. Tell me more. So that was a bit of a rushed effort. Booked a couple of flights and got over there. But yeah, that was some experience. And hats off to M Sport. They put on a superb show for us. They brought us in and wined us and dined us, and there was nothing held back. They showed us everything, and hats off to Will as well. Will and Liam, they give us a good spin around the forest, and it was just a superb day. It was an action-packed day. There was a lot to take in.
Yeah, because Ruthann, this is the works team. This is Ford. I know they're not fully behind the team, but they're putting an awful lot of money and effort and time onto this. This is as good as it gets.
Well, absolutely. I mean, it was mind blowing. But we thought, I suppose, you kind of see, you get to the gate of M Sport, and there's this. It's like going into Fort Knox. It's this really heavy security, and you're kind of thinking, what are we going into here? And to be honest, I thought as much as we'd see, it'd be kind of a showroom, and here are some cars we made, and don't touch them. And that'd be kind of it. But it's really intense, the level that they brought us. I don't think there was anything held back. We were all over the factory.
All the workshops, we got into the engine building rooms, gearbox, diff assembly rooms, all the shell fabrication, the whole works. Jeez, it was mind blowing. If I could wind back 20 years, I'd love to go and work there.
So the engineer was taking all in then, was it?
Oh yeah, it was, the cogs were in over. Just fascinating. The fabrication shop, in fairness, it was that blew my mind. The shell fabrication. Actually, I never really thought into it, but they're obviously not making the Fiestas anymore.
Yeah.
So these guys, M Sport bought up 500 shells from Ford, So they reckon they have these things stored in every nook and cranny around the UK. Every garage has a couple stuck into it. But yeah, you kind of wonder what's the future beyond the Fiesta. You never 500 shells might sound like a lot, but it still won't take a lot of time to chew through all those.
Because there is no small Ford really as such now. Like there is no that. They're no longer in production. There is like probably the Puma, or the Cougar, whatever now is the small car.
Yeah, the Puma is probably the closest to it. So, but yeah, it's all these things that you don't really think into until you're actually there and you see it with your own eyes. But yeah, it was fascinating. Though. Really fascinating. Yeah.
And then getting the opportunity to sit along with Will, what a year he has had. So close to becoming the BRC champion, being starring in the WRC. What's it like getting around with him?
Yeah, look, definitely the future is bright for him. That's for sure. Like, there's definitely big things ahead for him. He's definitely got the talent. Yeah, I don't have a lot of points of reference. I've never sat in the car on gravel before, and I've only once sat in the passenger seat of a rally car. Quick test with Aoife Ray one day. So yeah, points of reference for me are quite small, but yeah, phenomenal. It blew my mind. Like just the braking, the first thing. Again, it was just the braking, like literally flat out up to the first corner, and it felt like only about 30 meters away, just stood on the anchors, and this thing just nosedives, and just the braking power, unreal. But the speed that he's carrying around the corners, and just how loose it is, you're just getting these big, massive slides, and but at the same time, it still feels so controlled and so safe. I wouldn't be a good passenger at the best of times, but I was actually very calm for Joe. He was. Probably him. He's a good driver, good steady driver. You just probably feel in capable hands, but it probably starts raising a few questions for me. I'd love to get a spin on the gravel myself and see what. Yeah, maybe getting a little bit carried away.
Yeah. And Ruthann, for you that's used to being in the passenger seat, were you able to, almost watch and see what's going on here and see, what exactly is this guy's doing that's different?
Oh, very much so, yeah, because I suppose usually my head is down, I'm looking at notes, I'm not able to actually sit and look around me. And so that too was probably the first time I've ever actually sat in a rally car at pace and been able to actually enjoy the spin and look out the window and see what was going on. But yeah, he's very confident and cool. He's just sitting there, he's giving a little dip of the handbrake, and he's very, very relaxed as he goes. He's completely in control, and like it was quite, I would call it very loose kind of gravel. So there's a huge amount of movement in the car, and he certainly wasn't holding back in bringing us for a spin. You kind of think that maybe it'll be a nice easy run that he'll drive at 70%, but it certainly wasn't that, or it certainly didn't feel like that he was pushing on. But yeah, it's again, as John said, the braking, that how late he was leaving the braking, and we think that we're braking late on tar, but then he's going all that much further on gravel, and you're saying, what are we doing? Definitely, I think serious driver.
Yeah.
But even the stage that we were on, it was as close as I'll probably ever experience to the likes of Finland or something. It was a really cool jump and everything in it, and down into a bridge, and just you really get the experience of what proper gravel is like. Because like that, we have no experience of gravel, but it's been all tarmac that we've done. So definitely, yeah, an eye opener.
Yes. And I suppose before we let this go, is the next thing. Well, first of all, did you sell any equipment to Rich Milner? I believe he took great interest in the McHugh products.
He's actually a bit of a fan. Yeah, he's done a little bit of work in the past with contractors himself. He's driven tractors and rakes and balers and everything. So yeah, we had a good chat about that. But
fanboy.
He is a little bit, yes.
Yeah.
No, he's a great guy. In fairness, we had a good chat, and he was there in the forest to say when the test was going on. So I think I had a chat with him for about an hour. So I kind of really clicked with him. He's a really sound guy. We really had a good time for him.
Excellent. And then coming up this weekend, Banna, the Kerry Mini Stages, the Green Baby's getting rocked out again.
Yeah, as I said to someone during the week, I'm hoping to rekindle the love for that. I'm actually quite excited, to be honest. I'm actually really looking forward to it. I think that's probably as important as anything with the rally, and it's just a bit of variety. It's just mixing it up a little bit now. It's just really bringing a huge amount of excitement back again. We probably got to the stage where you were doing an event and you didn't really get those butterflies anymore. It just you became familiar with it. You knew what to expect. But actually going back again now after a 6-month absence in that cards, I'm really excited about it. But time. My biggest problem is time. I'd love to get a test or get a little bit of mileage in it before Banner, but I don't think that's going to happen. I just haven't the time. So yeah, it'll be the mileage out to stage 1 might be the first bit of a taste I get for it. Hopefully it all starts to come back again. But
and Ruthann, for yourself too, yes, sometimes you have to go back sometimes to go forward.
Absolutely, yeah. I think by I suppose Monaghan of this year, we were probably just, I don't know, a bit tired maybe of the twin cam, or we'd kind of done everything you could do, and definitely it was brilliant to get away from it. But I see John definitely has the passion back now in the last couple of weeks. He's really looking forward to Bana again, and as I said, we have no idea what's next or after that, what avenue we're going down, but it's we might make a decision after this weekend. We'll see how we get on. But
look, with Christmas only round the corner, so Santa's going to get a big long list. It's going to be a Rally2 Fiesta, a gravel kit.
I can dream, can't I?
So thanks very much to Ruthann and John, and best of luck in the Kerry Mini Stages this weekend. Speaking of that rally, I got a chance to catch up with Sean Moriarty. He looking after the press for the weekend, and there's some very exciting news there as well too. So let's hear from Sean.
Sean, we're only a few days away now from the Kerry Mini Stages, and an exciting event once again. Top class entry, top class stages.
Yeah, look, it's a kind of a traditional in the season rally, and it's always been very well supported by the more of a clubman entry than we'll say the championship orientated guys. Obviously, it's a round of the top part West Coast Championship, the Southern Four, and the Kingdom of Kerry Championships, but it really is a club in the season event, and it's like fantastic full field of 140 cars are set to take to the start line on Sunday morning outside the Rose Hotel. And I suppose that's a significant change as well, because for the first time in 43 years, the rally will not be based at the Banna Beach Hotel. It's moving into Tralee Town Centre to the Rose, which is probably more famous for the Circle of Kerry. But we'll extend huge thanks to William Murphy and the Murphy family for their support over the last 4.5 decades. And, Willie is an honouring member of Kerry Moore Club, and he deserves it for that alone, not to mind the other work he's done over the years. Rally moving into the Rose Hotel, that's a new departure for the club. Another significant move is the service park is the Munster Technology University in the North Campus in Tralee. Many listeners will recall that this was one of the identified locations for Rally Ireland, should that happen in 25 or 26. And we're glad to say the Kerry Moore Club has continued to forge a relationship with the senior management at the university. And we're bringing in the small club event into their property, and huge thank yous for them and for facilitating this. But really to show them, look, if this is what a small event can bring to town, what can a big event bring to town? And it's kind of like it's long-term thinking is what it's all about, really.
Yeah, because even for the MTU to facilitate this is not just a simple, I'll clear out the car park, lads. There's a lot more work involved in this.
Yes, there's lots of different things going on up there. I think one of the key aspects of the university is it's got an event management faculty, an engineering faculty, a sports science faculty, and a kind of a tourism and events management type thing. So, like, every aspect of motorsport is kind of encompassed in those 4 schools. And you can invite your engineering students to look at the service area on Saturday. You can invite your event management and tourism students to study what we're doing and how we're bringing people to town and how we're creating safety plans for this event. You can bring your sports science students into it and say, look, there's professional athletes, you need a certain diet, certain nutrition to operate at a top level. So, and then of course they're also kind of in a medical department there. So you've got your emergency services, your doctors, your ambulance crews working on the rally. So the rally is kind of a live classroom, if you like, for the weekend, and that's one of the great things about what we've achieved here. There's other people that are involved there too, like Shannon Development are part owners of that facility. So as you did, right, it's not just a case of, hi lads, how's it going? We're moving into town. There's safety plans, there's briefing meetings, there's conversations with the various tenants, the various, there's massive sports facility up there. It's incredible what's up there. And people that will be in Tralee next Sunday will be blown away by that. I'm going to say it here, I'm going to put it on the record, I think it's the best service park in the country. We'll let the general public and the competitors decide that next Sunday evening.
Yeah, because as you kind of alluded to, this is like a toe in the water. This is this is what like a small clubman event can bring. Like we can only imagine to upscale that to a WRC event. Like it's just going to blow the mind.
It's part of the plan. But look, who knows where Rally Ireland sits at the moment, and we'll continue to live in hope. We'll continue to press all the right buttons behind the scenes and see what happens. There's the general election coming up. We'll be talking to our politicians down here in Kerry to start out, don't forget us. But what better way to say don't forget us and, hey lads, come here and have a look at this. This is what we're all about. And it's a moving advert for that as well. There's an awful lot of extra things going on this weekend that are kind of bigger than just the rally itself. And you're dead right. It's a clubman event. It's a very important event at the end of the season for the club drivers, the local drivers. But there's a bigger picture here, and we have to create a massive impression for the community of Tralee, the community of County Kerry, the university community, as well as doing something special for the rally community.
For sure. And then, talking about the event itself, once again, like it looks as if real compact route, excellent stages as always, and the way the competitors has bought into this, as you say, a full field due to leave on Sunday morning.
Yeah, I think that the stages make it Mount Eagle is probably one of my personal favourites in all of the North Kerry stages. And there's a nice little bit of history attached to the Mount Eagle stage. We're running it in the opposite direction to what we have in recent years. So you're kind of starting in the northern end of the stage near the village of Brosna, and you're heading south back towards Tralee, and you're coming up to the top of the mountain and looking down onto the whole Vale of Tralee opening out in front of you. That particular stage, if you go back maybe 50 years ago, maybe even more, I don't just know from researching the history of it, and I think it was 1974. I wasn't even around then, so don't even ask me. But it was sometimes the Circle of Ireland Rally used to go clockwise or anti-clockwise around the country, and on one particular year it did go anti-clockwise, and it went from Belfast to Galway, and there was an overnight halt in Galway on Good Friday night. And Easter Saturday, they rallied down the west coast through County Galway, Clare, Limerick, and Kerry. And the Mount Eagle stage that we're using this weekend in this version was the last stage into Killarney on the Saturday night before they overnighted in Killarney. So there's a nice bit of history connected with that road as well, if you know what I mean. And it's a famous Circle of Kerry stage. It's also the same territory where the Killarney and back in the day the Kerry Forestry Rally used to take place. And anyone that contested the Killarney Forestry Rally earlier this year would have used the Mount Eagle stage as a road section linking the forestry stages. Yeah. So it's I think Mount Eagle is one of the great selling points of the rally, that it's a proper classic stage, maybe not up there with the Mods Gaps, but it is the famous stage, and it's really really important. And when people hear Mount Eagle's running, they'll come in their droves, and I think that's proven by Clerk of course, Sean Hegarty, and his great team around him for the last couple of months. They have gone above and beyond, and here we are with 140 cars and a few still hanging in there in reserve with 2 or 3 days to go. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and that, as you say, there is Sean and his team. It's not a one-man band. This is there's such a it's not a massive team, but the team makes all this happen. You talked about safety plans, feet in the ground. There's so many people involved in all this.
The reality of it is, there's Kerry Motor Club are running the event, and there's a great team within Kerry Motor Club. But we can't do this without our neighbouring clubs, particularly Killarney District, Limerick, Clare, all the Cork clubs. They're all here in their droves as well. And it's the same for any rally. You're bringing in people from clubs outside the county. Any rally that runs in the southwest is run by all the clubs in the southwest. And you could argue the same that any rally running in the northwest, Donegal would probably rely on clubs from across the border, to rely on Connacht and Sligo and Mayo motor clubs to run their rallies. It's no longer a one-club operation. It is a multi-club operation, and then that is the manpower that's required, the calling in favours, and if you give me 10 marshals for the Kerry Winter Rally, we'll give you 10 marshals for the Killarney Historic Rally, and that you double and triple those numbers. That's what's going on. Like it's a whole. Yes, the Kerry Motor Club team are driving this, and they've been a great team. They're great people, and without them, we would not have a rally. But without everybody in the southwest that's involved in the sport, we have nothing either. You know, and even the local motorcycle racers are getting involved in this one because Kerry Motor Club helped them with a fundraiser in recent weeks there, and now the motorcycle guys are giving back because they said, "Look, you helped us, we're going to help you." And we have a couple of the motorcycle racers coming, helping us out on Sunday. So
that's brilliant. You know, and that's what rallying and motorsport in general is all about. It's like leave no one behind. Everybody gets pulled along and everybody gets helped along.
Yeah, it's a team effort across the board. Rallies are getting harder and harder to run, and we just can't do it without the other clubs, and the other clubs can't do it without us. And it has to be this joined up thinking, and like examples like one of the assistant clerks of the course for the weekend is Greg McCarthy, well known Cork Motor Club official. He's our tracking room clerk of the course for the weekend. And you know, there's no one in Kerry Motor Club with tracking room experience there, but we had to farm it out to Cork. And I think vice versa, someone from other clubs help Cork Motor Club run their events. And that's what it's all about. It's a team effort. It's joined up thinking across multiple motor clubs, organisations, civil defence, like chambers of commerce. You know, it just goes on and on.
The Gardaí, everybody has to buy into this.
Yes.
And then I suppose like another thing we should mention, just announced this morning, Aoife Raftery on Monday, she's coming to us as well too. And like this is another thing, reaching out beyond rallying, you know, spreading the word beyond our own wee bubble.
Yeah. Like this is part of the project I mentioned earlier. And, you know, will World Rally Ireland come or will it not? I don't know. It's an open discussion at the moment, but it was always a kind of plan to tie in a high performing Irish motorsport athlete with the university. And as I mentioned earlier, the 4 or 5 different schools that are there, from event management, tourism, medical and sports science, engineering, every bit of that is part of what Aoife and all other Rally Academy members experience on their international journey through the year. And it's an opportunity for her to share her experiences in the European Rally Championship this year. It's also an opportunity for the students to learn how what they're learning in the university is being applied in a real life international professional sport. And you know, and then that ties in with the bigger picture with World Rally. Like it's the World Rally Championship is an awful lot more than just 40 or 50 cars racing through stage. That's what we love. That's what we go to see. That's what we want to see. But there's so many other aspects of it, from the sustainability, the engineering, the professional approach to promotion, the TV rights, the multitude of different things that go on behind the scenes to bring any rally together, not to mind a world rally. And you just tie it all in with the Rally Academy, the university, the event, and it's a sales pitch. This is what we can do with a small event. Imagine what we can do with a big event.
And it shows that Irish rallying, we are equal and better than anywhere else in the world.
I've been at several European and World Championship events this year. I do know from speaking to the likes of Ian Campbell, the manager of the FIA European Rally Championship, that he has stated that the University in Tralee is a world-class facility. This is a huge opportunity to put Tralee on the map. If it ever comes together, I mean, I'm speculating here, and don't anyone take me. I'm saying this is fact, but it's but if it doesn't happen, haven't we created a situation where we've got the university working with a motor club working with the students working with a member of the Rally Academy, the Rally Academy working with a university. The benefits of the small rally are already there. Yeah. And let's try and build on it and try and convince the powers that be. We'll go back, we'll mention the politics again. There's a general election coming. The message this weekend is clear, lads, is lads, look, this is what we can do. Yeah. Please think about us when the next step, the next round of funding, however you decide how funding works. This is what it's about. Please work with us, isn't it?
This is you're putting the flag here, like raising the flag, showing what we have and how good we are.
And I think we're going to tick another box then in 3 weeks' time. And this is County Kerry working together. And Cally Robin-Pera coming to the Killarney Historic Rally. And sure, he has to leave Killarney saying that these are the best roads in the world and that these roads have to be included in the World Championship. And if you join up the two different trains of thinking by the two clubs, we're presenting a World Championship spec service area this weekend. and then we're bringing the world champion to town in 3 weeks' time. You put the two of them together, it's all part of the big jigsaw. Look, I know I'm going on a little bit about that. Like, I mean, there's nothing set in stone and all this. We have to focus on what's on hand now this weekend as well. And 140 cars is a big undertaking for the club, and let's deliver a good, safe, action-packed rally for spectators, fans, marshals, volunteers, and competitors alike.
Yeah, because it's very important that everybody, competitor, spectator, listens to what they've been told, asked to do. Marshals, officials, all those people are there for your good.
Yeah, look, sure. We say rally in, rally out, but look, it's these marshals are out there. Like, they'll be out there all day Saturday setting up the stages. They'll be out there early morning Sunday ahead of the road close time, and they'll be there till well after the roads are open and cleaning up and everything. And they're volunteers. They could just as easily go away spectating for the day. But the fact that they've volunteered means everybody else can go spectating. So they're the bosses, really, and look, respect them and give them a hand if they need it. And there is good, safe locations out there to watch the rally. Go as safe as can be, anyway. Please go and obey them, and we'll have a great day.
So thanks very much there to Sean. Absolute pleasure. So best of luck to all competing there in Kerry Mini Stages this weekend. I think it's going to be a real tussle there. Some great entries there too. So yeah, looking forward to that. We'll keep an eye on the timesheets. So that is the end of season 3, episode 46. Can you please like, share, rate, subscribe? All those things makes a difference. And until next time, take care, speak soon, and bye.